to my channel. Well, my name is Sabia, and as I have promised you guys in my previous video, we'll be looking more today into our economy state in South Africa and the mainstreams that are affected. But I have decided to make this video into two so that it cannot be too long. So the first video will be a little bit of background, and then the second video will be getting down into business. In our country, in order for us to determine whether our country is a profitable investment entity or environment, we normally look at four pillars. We'll look at the political stability, public debt, economic growth, and investment flows. I remember, I think last year, when I was checking the news, we were already at 3 trillion debt, which was estimated to increase to 4.5 by 2022. Yeah, no guys, rough, very rough. And when I think yesterday when I was looking at the news, the GDP for the first quarter was 0.6, and that is not good. Normally, when the GDP is healthy, it should be 3%, 4%. Okay, go back. What is GDP? So GDP is a measure of our total production in South Africa. In the future, we'll be talking more about GDP and why GDP is flawed. So please do be tuned in my channel. Now, why are we in so much debt? I think one of the reasons that we all know is that Eskom has put us so much into debt to an extent that it has resulted into us having load shedding on a consistent basis. Thank you to lockdown 21, because on our world we haven't been experiencing load shedding. I don't know if in other parts of the country, but I do not remember hearing anything about load shedding in the news as lately. Ever heard of Moody's? Well, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So Moody's Investors Services is an institution that does a credit rating on entities. Those people are enemy. They are enemy. So what they do is they credit rate us whether we are worth investing in. Like when we go to a bank and apply for a loan, obviously a credit rating is done on us in order to determine if we'll be able to pay that particular loan. So that is what Moody's does. So for our country, Moody's does a credit rating on us, and they channel our investors on when to invest and how to invest in our country, according to whatever credit rating that has been achieved at that time. So I'm going to speak about two ones that are very obvious, very easy, because I don't want to get to technicalities of finance. But the only two ones that I can speak about is AAA and BBB. So with AAA, what it just means that the country is the best country to invest in. Why? Because it is highly possible that when an investor invests in it, they will get their returns back. So it means that it depicts the possibility of debt non-payment. Now, BBB means that when a country is invested in, there is a lot of risk. So investors keep in mind that I invest in this country, but I know that there is a lot of risk. So should the situation worsen from BBB, it means that automatically they will be declared under recession or junk. So the worst case scenario that can happen when you're in junk status or when you're on a downgrade just certainly means that the fund managers that are investing in these investment grade assets, they will sell the bonds that they had in South Africa, which will result into a rand depreciation. So what does it mean? This means that the US dollar, for example, is one of the currencies that have so much strength against the rand. So when I checked yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, $1 US against the rand, $1 US was 18 rand 68 cents, if I'm not mistaken. I stand to be corrected though. So which means, and last year when I checked, it was around about 14 rand, because I used to check constantly, so it was around about 14 rand. So automatically, ever since this COVID-19 situation worsened, rand has depreciated by about 4 rand to 5 rand. So it keeps on increasing and decreasing. So it's a bit unstable right now, but that's what it is happening. If there's a downgrade in South Africa, the South African Reserve Bank looks deeper into the situation. One of the questions that they ask themselves is that, does the downgrade affect our current financial market prices? If that is a yes, although this could be a negative thing that is happening in our country, it won't be as negative as we anticipate it to be. But if the answer is no, now the situation even worsens, because yes, we may still attract investors, but not as much as we had before. And which obviously, like I said before, it will result in us having a rand depreciation because of investors selling their South African bonds, and our rand will depreciate against major currencies. So I hope this video was very useful and has made you guys understand more about junk status and more about GDP. So please tune in to my next video, and please do comment, do like,